Hey everybody, this is Max Prime. On this episode, or this week's episode of the Max Show, or what we call Max Prime Show, we're going to talk to you about a couple things that happened this past week. One, there's rumors of a new Incredible Hulk. Two, I'm just going to talk to you about how you should take your comic books to get them CGC'd in order to create value and possible sales potential. Three, we're going to talk to you about a little bit of vodka. Mind you, this episode has been brought to you by Fig Vodka. Very delicious. You should get yourself a bottle of this the next time you're at Walt Disney World in Epcot. Very, very good. Very good drink. Anyway, so let's get into it. The new Incredible Hulk. There's going to be a new character, apparently, playing the Incredible Hulk. It's no longer Bruce Banner. So that'll be interesting. Hulk. So that's the end of that, I guess, because Marvel, to me... Marvel, alright. And let's just go off into a side rant, okay? So why I love DC Comics so much is because DC Comics gave you a darker side to comic books. It gave you a non-pop, like, you say non-pop culture option to what is out there with Marvel. Let's say fandom. DC Comics does a lot for its fan base. They have fan contests, DC All Access, which is a fan series developed by DC for the fans, where they actually involve some of their fans to get involved, to make videos, play a part of like contests, etc. So Marvel, on the other hand, does absolutely... I haven't seen a fan contest for Marvel at all. Then that's where I would say biasness comes from, is because, again, DC Comics seems to be more, they care more about the fans compared to Marvel. Marvel is just a big corporate machine who does not give a damn about their fans. Marvel proved me wrong. Make a fan contest, make a show dedicated to the fans where fans can participate in it. Then you'll do something good. To my second thing, my second topic is comic book collectors. I've been comic book collecting for years. I have a couple of long boxes, and I, for one, got to a point where my long box has gotten to the point where there's no more room left. And all the stuff in my long box potentially is worthless. About $3 for each issue. My values of my comic books, and they're worthless. So I moved on. I was like, you know what? No longer buying single issues, no longer buying runs. I'm like, I'm looking for the most rarest of the rarest items that is out there in the comic book world. Variant covers, Marvel, DC, Image. I look for all the just rare items, one for 300s, one for 200s, one for 500 issues of variant copies. I look for those rare items that you could possibly get CGC. Now, people might ask, Max, what does CGC mean? CGC means when you actually get your comic book professionally graded. When you actually take your comic book, bring it to the comic book store, when you want to sell that comic book, more than likely they're just going to give you raw value on it because it's not been professionally graded. You just can't say, oh, it's mint condition. It might have 5 or 6 fingerprints that can't be seen to the human eye until they really inspect the comic book and be like, hey, this is in mint condition. It's almost, but not really mint. If you take your book to go get it CGC'd, whether you send it in and go to the CGC website, or you actually go to a local dealer who's an actual contact with CGC, they will take your comic book, give it a professional grade, seal it in hard plastic, and then they'll give you, again, a final grade on the comic book, so where you can resell that comic book later and get top value, top money for that particular comic book. And lastly, we're going to talk to you today about one of my favorite topics is Ghostbusters the movie, and a couple other reboot movies that are out there in the movie universe. What is your thoughts on Ghostbusters the reboot? I was really excited to hear that they're going to actually make another Ghostbusters movie, and then we noticed that in our genre today, there's a lot of these reboots that are happening. Oh, let's reboot, Alf. Let's reboot 2001 Space Oddity. Let's reboot Trouble in Little China. I think there's a certain room or aspect for these reboots, and I think there's a certain respect level, even when video games, rebooting storylines, rebooting comic books, for example. I feel that there is a limit and there's a point where people that get to where these reboots are just way too much. And that's just my final thought before I end this video, because I rambled on for about 9 minutes prior to in regards to CGC and all that type of stuff. So subscribe to me, follow me. Next week I might have some attractive female on here, or beautiful girl hosting my show, whatever, I don't know yet. But this is Max Prime Show. I'm out. Follow me at Mr_Munder. This is brought to you again by Fig Vodka, because I can't even say my own name right. Mr. Monday Night. I'm out.